There is always something special about the downtown area, at least in most cities, and Milwaukee's downtown area, located right on the shores of Lake Michigan, is definitely not going to disappoint. The scenery is spectacular both at the lakefront and along the river, and there are always so many things to do you'll never get bored. We will get into that in just a few minutes. The Milwaukee metro area as a total has about 1.6 million people, and most of them, if they want to have a night out with friends, live close enough that they can actually make it to downtown in under 20 minutes, and that includes even parking. So you don't have to necessarily live in downtown Milwaukee to enjoy it, but with the right budget, you certainly can. If you want to actually live here, you have basically one out of two options. You can either rent an apartment or you can buy a condo. Renting an apartment is a great way to try it for a year and see how you like it. But if you know what you want and you don't like the idea of paying rent, then buying a condo is obviously a great choice. A lot of young professionals opt for the cool downtown lifestyle, and many of them also work downtown at one of the many corporate headquarters. But that is actually not the main reason why they live here, because commuting from the suburbs to the downtown area is relatively quick and easy here in Milwaukee. The main reason I would say why they want to live here is the fantastic lifestyle that the downtown area has to offer. There are tons of great restaurants, a lot of festivals Milwaukee is very well known for, especially in the summer months, and events of any kind are never far. And if you're willing to spend a little extra money, you can wake up to a majestic sunrise over Lake Michigan every morning. Or at the very least, you can go for a morning run on the lakeshore and basically enjoy the same stunning views for free. Some of the condos you can buy downtown come actually not only with a couple of spots in the heated parking garage, but also with your very own boat slip just right outside the elevator. So that's pretty cool, but of course that also comes with the price. Before we get too much into these details, let's take a quick look at the map and see where we are. All right, let me get you orientated real quick. So Milwaukee is on the lakeshore of Lake Michigan, and we're about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Chicago. Let me zoom into here to the Milwaukee downtown area so you can see what we're talking about here. Gotta adjust this a little bit. So when we talk about Milwaukee downtown, we are basically talking about three pieces. We have the East Town here, which is the lakefront area, then separated by the Milwaukee River. On the other side here, we have West Town. And then down here, we have the historic Third Ward. So there's a little bit of a disagreement amongst locals what actually constitutes exactly downtown. But everybody agrees, East Town, West Town, and the Third Ward, that is basically our downtown area. Now, I have to say, one of the things that our city planners really nailed is the freeway system here. So getting into downtown is super easy because you can see here all these main freeway arteries are going right here to the downtown area. There's multiple on and off ramps, so super easy to get in here. Let me show you that on a little bit of a bigger picture. So this freeway system really ties together all of the metro area, and no matter where you are, it's very easy to get here to the downtown Milwaukee area. By the way, a lot of people are reaching out to me after they've seen one of my videos with questions about Milwaukee. So if you're thinking about Milwaukee, if you're thinking about relocating here, definitely feel free to reach out to me. You can shoot me a text message, give me a call, send me an email, whatever works best for you. I love answering questions about Milwaukee. That's why I'm making all these videos. When I started working on this video a few weeks ago, I realized that how much I actually like the downtown area of Milwaukee and how often we go there for a night out or just to meet and hang out with friends. Some of the major US cities that I've seen actually do not have a really nice walkable city center or downtown area. So I think we're very lucky that we have one, and it really adds to the lifestyle. It's the heart and the soul of Milwaukee, and it all starts with East Town. So East Town is where Milwaukee meets Lake Michigan, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that and are out here even on a weekday enjoying the lakefront. You see people running in the morning or going for a walk in the afternoon. Of course, it's all public land, and even if it attracts a lot of people, the good news is that it's so large that even on a weekend it never feels too crowded, and you can always find a quiet spot if you want to be by yourself. During the winter, things get a lot more quiet around here. I think the reason we have so many festivals and events in the summer is because everybody gets out of the winter hibernation and really enjoys the beautiful weather. If you want to know more about how winter in Milwaukee feels, you can also find a video about that on my channel. Personally, I absolutely love being on the water, and whenever I have business to do downtown and I can spare a few minutes, I'll just park the car, grab a cup of coffee and go for a short walk around the lakeshore or just stare on the horizon. It's just super relaxing, and then go right back to my next meeting. It's also worth mentioning that Milwaukee has actually a number of beaches. This, for example, is Bradford Beach, which is a very popular destination for playing beach volleyball. Easttown is also the financial district of Milwaukee, and pretty much every major bank and financial institution has a high-rise building here. But many of the very best locations right on the shoreline are actually condo buildings, and they offer absolutely breathtaking views over Lake Michigan. If you want to wake up to a sunrise over the water, then this might be an idea to think about. But of course, as cool and stunning as many of these condos are, they also come with a significant price tag. I will talk more about cost of living downtown later in this video. Alright, so of course we have a lot of condos downtown, but if you feel like renting and you feel like renting really nice, then I would recommend taking a look at the 777, which is one of the latest additions to the Milwaukee skyline, and a really fantastic apartment building with a rooftop pool and a lot of really cool things. Indoor golf simulator, where can you find that? So really nice place, let's go check it out. Another really cool perk about living in Easttown is the proximity to the McKinley Marina and to the Milwaukee Yacht Club. Sailing and boating are a really big thing here on Lake Michigan, and by the way, Milwaukee has also really good trout and salmon fishing. So in a way, you can live here downtown just across Lincoln Memorial Drive in a condo tower, and you are so close that you can basically walk to the marina and to your boat. So if you're walking downtown, one of the things that make getting around really easy are these skywalks. You can see one behind me, and we have a crazy number of them. I think like 1.3 miles of skywalks that are connecting all sorts of buildings here in Milwaukee and make getting around really very easy. Next up is Westtown. So if you're walking inland and away from Lake Michigan, after a few minutes you'll get to the Milwaukee River, which basically separates Easttown from Westtown. And a really great way to explore the downtown area of Milwaukee is the Milwaukee Riverwalk, which is basically a pedestrian promenade. It goes on both sides of the river, and it is approximately 20 blocks long, so it's a fairly good walk. Of course, if you happen to get very thirsty along the way, you'll come past a number of local breweries and bars, and you can stop in for a drink. If you're feeling active, you can also rent a kayak and paddle up and down the river. That's a really great way too. A lot of people are doing this, and it's a great way to see the city. Or if you like it a little bit more chilled and like it Newport Beach style, then you can also rent a Duffy boat, which is also super cool. Westtown is also home to the quite new Milwaukee Bucks basketball arena, the Pfizer Forum, and the area around it is becoming known as the Deer District, named after the Milwaukee Bucks, who won the 2021 NBA Finals, and they made Milwaukee incredibly proud. The new Pfizer Forum can seat about 17,500 fans, but during the NBA Finals we had as many as 100,000 fans watching the game outside on large screens, and they were cheering and celebrating for their team. The Deer District is probably one of the best examples to showcase how Milwaukee has been redeveloping and transforming over the last decade. If you're here and you have time to watch a game at the brand new Pfizer Forum, definitely worth it. By the way, if you're interested to learn more about Milwaukee neighborhoods, definitely check out my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of videos there on a separate playlist called Living in Milwaukee. that talks about different neighborhoods in the Milwaukee metro area. We're 1.6 million people here, so there's quite a few neighborhoods, and there's all sorts of other information as well. If you're wondering how bad winter is here in Milwaukee, then go check out my video, and if you want to stay updated on everything, consider subscribing to my channel. There's more videos in the makings. So finally, last but definitely not least, we are getting to one of my personal favorites, the historic Third Ward. In my personal opinion, this is probably one of the coolest parts of Milwaukee to live in. If you follow Water Street down the river, you will see the iconic Milwaukee Public Market, which has a ton of small shops of different eateries and bars and all kinds of things to do and to buy. So this is definitely a must-see if you're in town, and a great starting point to explore the historic Third Ward. The district itself has roots in the Irish community, was a little bit rough back in the day, and then later the Italians took over and they ran a lot of businesses out of there. So there were a huge amount of Italian restaurants, grocery stores, warehouses of all kinds, and lots of dry goods distribution. But after World War II, things did not go so well for the Third Ward. This was one of the more challenged communities in Milwaukee, and they had a lot of empty industrial buildings, and that was an opportunity developers took advantage of in the late 90s, and step by step these old warehouses were sold and completely redeveloped. Some of them have been turned into condos, some are mixed-use buildings with shops, bars and restaurants downstairs, and condos or apartments upstairs. And over time, more and more of these old industrial buildings have been redeveloped, and the more the Third Ward changed, the more attractive the whole area became. So 20 years later, the entire district has seen a complete renaissance, and it is now one of the coolest parts in town. Today you will find there the highest concentration of art galleries. Some of my favorite restaurants are here. Unique specialty stores, architects, advertising agencies, designers, I think you get the idea, as well as lots of condominiums, office buildings, and industrial space. Some of the condo buildings are located right on the river, and some of them come actually with their very own boat slip right outside the back door. So full disclosure, I'm not a boat owner or a boat enthusiast, but even I think it's pretty cool that you can just go downstairs and hop on your boat. We used to have a condo in the Third Ward, and we absolutely loved that lifestyle, and some days we miss it, so who knows, maybe someday we will be back down here. So how much does all of that cost you? Let's talk about the cost of living downtown. So if you're deciding to rent, rents are typically somewhere around $1,500 to $2,500 a month for a nice place, but of course you can go a little higher if you want to have more space or a really luxury apartment. Most condos are priced between $250,000 and $500,000, so that's the lion's share of the market. The top 20% of all listings sold last year were between $500,000 and $1 million. And then of course you have the ultra luxury penthouse type condos that can range anywhere between $1 million and $3.6 million. On the other hand, if you don't need thousands of square feet and you're okay with the smaller place, then there is a fair number of options between about $150,000 and $250,000. Next thing to keep in mind is that condos always also come with condo fees. So you definitely want to budget for those, but also understand what is included. Depending on the property, outside of the usual stuff like insurance and common areas, there can be an on-site gym, for example, so that saves you a gym membership. There can be a swimming pool, there can be heating and cooling included, maybe parking included. So you want to make sure that you understand what you're actually getting for your condo fee. And if you're shopping for a more exclusive condo, also be prepared to get hit with a really hefty property tax bill on top of the purchase price and on top of the condo fees. So while living in downtown is pretty sweet, it also comes sometimes with a pretty big price tag. Of course, there is quite a bit more that plays into the cost of living. So if you're thinking about relocating to Milwaukee and you're wondering about cost of living, definitely check out my cost of living in Milwaukee video. You can find it on my YouTube channel, and it goes into great details, anything from childcare to cost for groceries and anything else that you want to know about cost of living in Milwaukee. If you're not familiar with Milwaukee and you're thinking about relocating here, I definitely recommend our free relocation guide. It's 40 pages of very densely packed information about everything that you want to know about the greater Milwaukee area. It's based on all the questions that we typically get from relocation clients, and we try to answer all of them in this relocation guide. And you can download it for free on our website, on.pointrg.com.